Do cruise ships ever miss their ports? Well, like in life, nothing ever goes according to plan, especially on a cruise ship during hurricane season. This video is a little weird. It's not just one port, it's a combination of all of the ports we sort of missed and Portland. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my life. My name is Josh Chilton. I'm a Canadian artist and photographer for Norwegian Cruise Lines, and this is my journey. Hi, it is Wednesday, September 22nd. We are starting the day off in a lobster costume. Today we are in Portland, Maine, and I need to buy myself a suitcase. So we're gonna do our morning shift here, get dressed in a nice, sexy lobster suit, and then I will be going out shopping today in Portland. A little bit of exploring, but I'm exhausted. I didn't get much sleep last night, so it's gonna be a busy day, but stay tuned. Here is what the lobster looked like. Hopefully I have something to show you. Excellent, and we're back. I hope you all enjoyed that so much. I'm suffering, but it's okay. See you in a second. And after a brief intermission, we are back and out in beautiful Portland, Maine, with the Joy and Pearl behind us. We are here again with Carolina. She's gonna tag along and take some photos with her nice, expensive Sony Alpha camera. My primary and basically only objective here today is to buy a suitcase. I need a suitcase. I'm sure I complained about this with the Boston clip. What Boston clip? Well, this video is very out of order. Our original itinerary was to go from New York to Boston, Portland, and Halifax. But there was a hurricane happening during this cruise. Actually, there was a lot of problems with hurricanes during our entire Canadian cruise, and this video is a combination of many of those clips. So in order for this video to work as a video, the clips are being shown in the order that I felt they made the most sense during the edit, or in the order that they're the most interesting. So we are starting in Portland, Maine, so that I can buy a suitcase because I'm leaving the ship soon. Then we're gonna go up and show some hurricane related footage to clarify that. And then I think I have clips from Sydney and clips from Boston as well. So stay tuned, there's a lot going on. So it looks like there's a sea luggage store or something down a few piers over, so we're gonna head down that way and see if I can find myself a bag. Need a bag. What I actually need is a solid frame suitcase. See, on the paperwork when I first started the cruise, they recommend bringing collapsible luggage because there's limited storage space in your cabin, not knowing what size of ship you were going to be on. I ended up being on the largest size of ship, meaning our cabins were larger. And literally every single other person on the cruise ship, at least every person I joined with, had a proper normal suitcase. I, however, had a duffel bag, and I had to carry the some 30 to 50 pounds of luggage that I brought with me, not knowing what I was going to need in a duffel bag. And now, at the end of my contract, I have more stuff than I started with. So I need something with wheels. Secondary objective reached. Cool architecture and things for me to draw. I've already seen a number of churches from the pier, so all I need to do is find said churches and take some nice reference photos for me to draw later, because I do not have the time to do it now, which is hugely disappointing. But Portland's nice so far. To be clear, this is Portland, Maine on the East Coast, not Portland, Oregon, the big city. Somebody decided to name it twice. It's the same as like Sydney, Nova Scotia, not Sydney, Australia. So there's some trivia. Okay, so the bag store is a no-go. They have like handbags, like big cloth bags for carrying stuff, like a big purse sort of idea. I need a hard frame wheeled suitcase because I have a big duffel bag and I don't want to carry everything back on my back the way I brought it all in. So I need something that I can wheel along with me. So we're gonna see maybe if we can catch a taxi and drive down to sort of the industrial area and see how that goes. Okay, so we've just ordered ourselves an Uber. We're gonna go down to South Main and go to Target, I guess. I guess Target's probably the easiest thing for us.
You really don't mind if you are wrong. You just need someone around. I'm holding you tight into my grip, a rebound that I found.
Me and Caro are on an adventure now. We have acquired the suitcase from Target and a few other items, and we're trying to find the mall to get food. And I think we're lost somehow. Oh look, people, let's go ask for directions. And now we find out that we were going the right direction and have now gone the wrong direction. I have to go back to where we are to get over this road, to get on a bridge, to get across the highway so that we can go to the mall to get something to eat. Are you confused? I'm confused. And then call an Uber back. So a little bit of walking, that 15-minute jaunt's looking more like a half-hour jaunt, but that's fine. We have time. Oh, I should mention, we walked to the mall. We made it. We got food. We met up with Miyumi. Little darling Miyumi. We got drinks. And now we're gonna get a Uber back to that thing that we work on. I am still very tired. Okay, we're done eating. Karita is still taking pictures. Waiting for the Uber back now. One day. And that summarizes my adventures in Portland, Maine. Now, on to some hurricanes. Sunday, September 17th. We are currently in the midst of another hurricane. I need to see if we're docking or not, because our whole photo team doesn't know whether or not it's a goddamn sea day or a port day. Our manager knew that this was a possibility because last night she gave us two schedules. One schedule if we were actually docking in Sydney, Nova Scotia and people could go into port, or if the weather was too bad, an alternative schedule for us working in the gallery. And we have to be available for both, which means waking up super early if we go into port and being ready and adaptive to work later in the afternoon if we're staying in the ship. And so I'm illegally vlogging in public areas right now, but we don't know what's going on. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're anywhere near land on either side. All I know is it's really windy outside, so I think we're gonna go with it's a sea day because the nearest land is over there. And there are some really big swells. It looks like we're just gonna kind of do circles or something. It's probably too dangerous for us to dock in Sydney. So I'm probably gonna go back to bed then, but we'll go check in the lab and see. Why was our manager not here to tell us what was going on? We don't know. I don't remember seeing them at all that day, but we just kind of figured it out on our own. For everybody that missed what I just said, because it's a hurricane and it's too windy, it's probably a sea day, and we're not This clip is literally being recorded moments after I just explained all of this to my team as one of the senior photographers at the time. I was the person giving directions to everybody else. And that's why they're laughing at me, is I just said everything, then pulled out my phone and said it all again. Wow, and this is what you get when I explain things in person and then vlog. Everyone laughs because I look like an idiot. Everyone that was just here a moment ago when I explained it in person. We're not going to be docking in Sydney today. It's a sea day because there's a hurricane.
It's a sick game, man.
Congratulations. So we all got up at fucking 6:30, 6 o'clock, whatever time for our shift. And now we all get to go back to bed.
But Dia had breakfast.
But Dia finally had breakfast. Congratulations. Oh my god. Things, look at what the world can do for us. I want to clarify a couple things based off comments that I've received. First of all, right now in my normal life, I typically get up between 5 and 6 o'clock. I choose to do that. But I also choose to go to bed at 10 o'clock so that I can receive 8 hours of sleep. Working on the cruise ship, you're typically waking up at 6 o'clock, but you're going to bed at 2 o'clock after everything's shut down. So we're all pretty much always pretty heavily sleep deprived. And I am the kind of person that enjoys getting 8 hours of consistent sleep. To manage some of this, some people make sacrifices, like our coworker Deandra, who had never eaten breakfast up until this point because the breakfast cafeteria closes after I think 8 o'clock. And so if you're waking up within half an hour of your shift going straight outside to work, by the time you get in, breakfast is closed. So you have to wake up earlier than you need to work if you want to eat before your shift. Fuck. Look, I wish I got that on video. God. This kicks the door down. No more garden. We're all tired. Dia, can you show us again what it's like living on a ship? Chair slowly rocks across the room. I didn't successfully capture this on film a single time, but both Deandra and Jefferling were rolling back and forth across the photo lab as the ship was rocking in the swell. It's because it's rocking back the other way now.
Yeah, but now
There it is. There she goes again. There she goes. It's like climbing a mountain trying to crawl yourself back up the incline of the ship rocking. Is it gonna be like this all day? Yes. We're gonna be walking around all goddamn day, aren't we? Oh boy. It was rocking pretty badly all day. The ship attendants had little party bags, barf bags, on every stairwell on every floor across the entire ship so that if a passenger got sick, they could throw up somewhere not on the floor if they were not near a bathroom, which is ironic because the bathrooms are right beside all of the stairwells, and they were just handing out anti-seasick medications like it was candy. The photo lab was opened and we were working on it throughout the day, but everything had to be locked, all the doors closed, and everything battened down because the ship was moving really badly. This is one of the few negative sides of the premium service like Haven, because you're at the very top of the ship, which rocks the most on seasick days like this. So don't book cruises during hurricane season, even though it's much cheaper. It's not a great experience when you're in the ship during a hurricane. The rest of this is all just antics of us mutually all being exhausted, and everything's funny when you're tired. This is the best photo I've ever taken, Jeffy. You wanna see my picture? You wanna see my picture, Jeffy? Keep them forever. It's so good. Okay, so we all woke up early this morning expecting that we would be doing gangway shooting in port for Sydney, Nova Scotia, and because there's a goddamn hurricane nearby, this is Hurricane Leo, I think, it's too dangerous for us to dock, and our docking pilot isn't able to get on board. Docking pilot. Typically on ports with treacherous waters, the captain doesn't drive the ship into port. Rather, somebody else drives up in a little dinghy, they board the ship, and all they do all day is drive cruise ships in and out of the port. They're a specialized pilot that knows those exact waters of that port. So there's a docking pilot for Bermuda, there's a docking pilot for Sydney, there's a docking pilot for Quebec. Anywhere that you need to navigate through tight spaces, you have a specialist that's brought on board who knows the area. And obviously they can't board the ship when you have huge swells rocking up against it. It's just not safe. Fun facts! So we're just gonna have a sea day, but just in the middle of the ocean near the port, which is very exciting. It means we're all basically going back to bed now, which is what all that fucking chaos was about just before. And I took a Red Bull this morning, so I get to go to sleep with the caffeine of a Red Bull, but it's fine. I still feel tired, because that's all caffeine does. It just makes you not feel tired, and it doesn't work for me. I always feel tired. That's probably all for today. We'll smash cut this into the middle of another vlog somewhere.
When we will do so and what to expect from that. But today, during the day, well, what to expect? There will be no visit to Sydney. It will be a day at sea. You can't see it right now, but we are very close to the entrance to Sydney, and that's where we will remain to make sure that we will not be affected by.
So basically what the captain's saying there is, and it's a sea day, we're going to be sheltered in an area slightly north of Sydney where the waves can't build up, but it's too windy and dangerous for us to go into port. Everything that I've just said. Congratulations. Okay, thank you, everybody. Oh, this was such a good idea. If I recall correctly, this was Nico's first experience encountering one of these flywheel fishing reels, and he was just fascinated by the mechanism. I think this was our manager's personal fishing rod that she gave him as a prop for this like Frankenstein costume that we created for Sydney. I had a ton of fun this morning because I was his shooter, and we had a great deal smudging because Nico in the costume would just like walk up and grab people and frame up a shot for me. So we were just taking lots of pictures. Sydney was incredibly windy, so that's all you get. If you're confused because I just had a clip saying we're not going into Sydney because it's a hurricane, remember we visit all of these ports twice as we're going to and from Canada, so yes, we visited Sydney twice, and it was awful and rainy both times. One time, we never boarded because it was a hurricane. The other time, it was safe to board, but still super windy, rainy, and awful. Sydney, Nova Scotia's claim to fame is having a giant fiddle statue, which is this, and they had a huge indoor non-functional lighthouse model. Hi, it is September 26th. We are going back up to Canada again. I am 2 weeks off. We go from New York to Quebec, and then we go from Quebec down to New York. It's an itinerary that sort of looks like this. I'm pretty sure I have a photo to put in there. If not, I look like an idiot. We are in Boston today, but it's hurricane season, so we were delayed by an hour, which means we are arriving in Boston at 2:30, not 1:30. And I was just told that there's a meeting for all crew at 3:30 where we have to go in and attend a little lecture about the dangers of Boston and get a sticker for our key cards. The meeting was for all crew who wanted to go into Boston, and that basically means all crew who don't work in the evenings. And photographers work constantly. So I have set up at 3:45 and then I work at 5:30, even though technically it's 4. But I work from 3:30 on. So there's really no point in me even attending the lecture, but I suppose when we dock, I'll have some nice cinematic footage to show over. And it's empty. Nice sunrise, sunset though. Have it so consistent. Yes. So and to be able to get them off the runway that quickly. Yes. Because the Boston airport is right there, and every 3 minutes a new flight is coming in. Absolutely ridiculous. As we understand it, the Boston airport only has one primary runway, so all of these planes, those dots you see in the sky, were coming in one after the other. One of the craziest feats of human engineering that I'd ever seen. Another crazy feat of human engineering was this huge freight ship that was moving into port beside us. Here's a time lapse. So that's, I guess, what Boston looks like. But I'm never going to get the chance during the cruise to go out into Boston because this is the one and only time we are going to this port. We don't visit it on our way back. So I'm just disappointed right now. It kind of sucks. I really don't know what to do because I was planning to go into Boston to buy myself a suitcase because I need a suitcase. I only have a duffel bag that I brought with me, and I have more stuff with me now than I brought with me. So I need to buy a suitcase, and I was hoping to do it in Boston. I'm going to try to do it in Portland. Maybe I can still do it in Halifax. But regardless, I need to buy it somewhere or I am so screwed. This video was kind of a mess of a bunch of other places. The rest, like the next 5 videos I have are all absolutely amazing. Corner Brook is the most beautiful cinematography I've ever done, and my tour of Quebec City. Oh god, there's some amazing stuff coming up. And then subscribe if you want to find out what happened there. Thank you everybody so much for watching this video. If you like, subscribe. I don't think anyone's watching these anyway, but I'm gonna keep doing it anyway. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.